everybody, welcome back to the Apple and Orange line and to another video. And today is a special MPC Era video, part of the MPC Era Series here on the Apple and Orange line. And our special guest today is the 442, number 8305 Lionel Atlantic steam engine. And this steam engine has the operating red lights and headlight up front, steam or smoke, no steam, and a tender whistle that works. And this locomotive, which is in Milwaukee Road livery, came from the Milwaukee Special Passenger train set, which I received probably for Christmas around 1979, I'm thinking. This train is, it's a nice old passenger train. It's got the Dolly Madison type city of Seattle right here, passenger cars. And I've got some of the extra cars as well, although I am missing the very special edition, which was, I can't remember if it was a gas station or a Cracker Jack box, or there was a way that you could get, a cereal box, I think, General Mills cereal, that's probably what it was, probably not Cracker Jacks. But anyway, there was a car that you could get through a special offer on collecting box tops, and I don't think I didn't get that one because I didn't even know about it. So there were some special offers that Lionel had back in the MPC era, like the box tops and gas station cars, and I never knew about those, so I missed out on that. So that was a little part of my childhood that I was denied. But anyway, so today we're going to take a look at the old 442 Atlantic, and part of the reason I wanted to look at it is because it's just a really reliable Lionel model. I also have my my New York Central Hudson 464 right here, and it didn't even have operating lights in the front. Well, it had an operating headlight, but it didn't have those green lights. They're just decoration. So, although I think the Hudson is a little bit more detailed model, this Atlantic is a nice model. It does have a lot of detail to it, and it was part of a box set, and it's always worked. It's never given me any trouble. The Hudson I've been having some trouble with. Some of my other locomotives I've had some trouble with, but this thing just runs. And I took it out of the box this year for Christmas, and I did take it out a couple of years ago and ran it around the Christmas tree. But otherwise it's been in storage for about 35 years, like 3.5 decades. It's just been packed away in its box here, just stored away. And I took it out of the box this year, set it up around the Christmas tree. I set it up around my temporary plywood prairie here, and the thing just ran. It just started smoking right out. I didn't even put any smoke fluid in it. It started smoking. The whistle, it takes a little warming up to get the whistle working right, but it came with a little button that, I don't know if you can see it here. There's basically the transformer has a little red button here, and you push the button. If you don't get the engine warmed up, it will reverse when you first push the button. So once it warms up and you kind of cycle the whistle a few times, it comes right on. It just whistles, and it works great. And I'll show you here in a moment how that is. But this little locomotive, it's my second favorite steam engine. So my first is the Hudson, I can't deny, but just because it's bigger and it's got just a little more detail on it. But like on the Hudson, it's got, it's got all this detail right here, and it's bigger, heavier. It's just a beefier model, but there's nothing against this Atlantic at all, because the Atlantic was really a workhorse in the day. The Hudson, those types of engines came in later, and probably almost 30 years later. So these Atlantics came out really in the late 1800s, and they chugged their way through the early 1900s, and they were the workhorses. And for Milwaukee Road, it pulled the Hiawatha from the early days, and it was a workhorse, and it wasn't probably attacking the mountains of Utah, or Wyoming, but it was a really reliable, good, solid engine. So we're going to take a look at the Atlantic 442, both the real locomotive and the Lionel model.
The Chicago, Milwaukee, St. Paul, and Pacific Railroad, often referred to as the Milwaukee Road, was a Class I railroad that operated in the Midwest and Northwest of the United States from 1847 until 1986. The 442 represents a configuration of a four-wheeled leading bogie, four powered and coupled driving wheels, and two trailing wheels supporting part of the weight of the boiler and firebox. This allows a larger firebox and boiler than the 440 configuration. This wheel arrangement is commonly known as the Atlantic type, although it is also sometimes called a Milwaukee or 442 Milwaukee after the Milwaukee Road, which employed it in high-speed passenger service. The Milwaukee Road used a streamlined Atlantic type on its Midwestern Hiawatha passenger train service that was instituted in 1935. 4 locomotives of the Milwaukee Road Class A were constructed for this service in 1935. These 442s were reportedly the first steam locomotives ever designed and built to reach 100 miles per hour on a daily basis. These Atlantics, with their distinctive streamlining shrouds, were designed by industrial designer Otto Kühler. Their calculated tractive effort was 30,685 pounds force. An unusual feature of this locomotive was the drive onto the front coupled axle, which improved riding quality at speed. The wheel arrangement was named after the second North American 442 tender locomotive class built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works in 1894 for use on the Atlantic coastline of the Philadelphia and Reading Railway. Baldwin's ideas on 442 tender locomotives were soon copied in the United Kingdom and used on the Great Northern Railway with the GNR Class C1 Klondyke Atlantic of 1898. These were quickly followed by others in the United Kingdom and around the world. Atlantic-type locomotives, which first entered service in the late 1800s, remained in service with American railroads until the end of the steam age. Although the Milwaukee Road scrapped all of their streamlined Atlantic-type variants, many are still on display today at museums around the United States, including the Southern Pacific 3025 at the Traveltown Museum in Los Angeles, California, and a couple examples from the Pennsylvania Railroad on display at Strasburg. So now it's time to run the Lionel MPC Era 442 Atlantic Milwaukee Road. This Lionel Atlantic 442 locomotive features the mighty sound of steam and whistle, and like many MPC era locomotives, it features the PullMor motor, engineered to last a lifetime with 5 times the pulling power, smoother startup, quieter running, self-lubricating, built for dependability, and tested for a lifetime of railroad fun.
So thanks again for tuning in to this episode of the Apple and Orange line and the Atlantic 442. This is the Lionel Milwaukee Road Special Passenger Train locomotive number 8305, and it's the Atlantic. And appreciate you tuning into this episode of the Apple and Orange line. If you like this episode, please smash that like button and consider clicking subscribe if you want to see more videos like this from the Apple and Orange line. Thanks again for tuning in to this episode of the Apple and Orange line. We'll see you again next week on Train Tuesday.